This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. What caused that massive scrapyard blaze on Joe Farrington Road? A bill passed to allow the option for trials without juries. The Prime Minister dodges questions. Question time, but vast majority of questions go unanswered. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, May 9th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning in Morning Blend Business, we're talking about the drama in Grand Bahama with the city of Freeport, the Grand Bahama Port Authority, pledging to set the record straight. And before that, we are going to be getting details about the Feeding 5,000 network and their special program and what they have planned. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, except for two questions answered by Fox Hill MP Fred Mitchell regarding diplomats appointed by the Davis administration since September 2021, PLP members yesterday refused to answer a series of questions put to them by opposition leader Michael Pintard during question time in the House of Assembly, with Prime Minister Philip Davis accusing Pintard of grandstanding given that his party's leadership race is in a few weeks. Many of the questions Pintard asked have been on the agenda of the House for months, some dating as far back as last October. Energy and Transport Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis went as far as to say that she will not answer questions Pintard asked her about BPL until after the F&M convention on June 1st. The connection between her obligation to answer the question and the opposition party's convention very much unclear. Pintard asked Colby-Davis to advise the House of whether all the BPL employment benefits will remain and who will be responsible for the salaries and benefits after the government completes a new deal for BPL with parties not yet confirmed. He also asked her to advise on how the new entities to be engaged by the government will work in tandem to provide quality services to the Bahamian people. He asked Colby-Davis to advise the House on the arrangements between the transmission and distribution companies and the company that will be responsible for generation and what the government's role in the arrangement will be. Not only did Colby-Davis advise that she was not prepared to answer them, but she also let the opposition know, quote, "More questions. I wouldn't be in a position to answer any of those questions today. We are a very transparent government to be assured that anything that we're doing on behalf of the Bahamian people will be to the benefit of the Bahamian people, and so therefore those questions will be responded to, be answered. We will assure that the Bahamian public is notified and we have provided the necessary information to date, and when we have further information, we will provide that further information." Well, Pintard asks a whole lot of other questions. You can read all about it in today's Nassau Guardian. A new bill that would allow individuals the right to jury trials in the Supreme Court would promote the swift and fair resolution of cases. That's according to Prime Minister. He made the comments as he opened debate on the trial by judge alone miscellaneous provisions bill 2024, which was debated along with the Supreme Court amendment bill, and it was passed yesterday evening. Davis says the reliance on jury trials contributes to delays and ultimately denied justice in some circumstances, which creates a culture of impunity. Trial by judge alone bill would allow for individuals committed to stand trial in the Supreme Court on indictment to waive their right to jury trial and elect trial by judge alone, where the accused persons have either sought and received legal advice or waived their right to legal advice. Referring to a bedrock constitutional right that protects prosecutorial overreach, Davis assured that individuals will still be able to have their cases heard by jury should they prefer that. In other news, North Cornish's new trial will begin on October 21st. That's according to his attorneys. Cornish appeared before Justice Renee McKay for a fixture hearing yesterday, 1 week after she discharged the 9-member jury after learning that one of the jurors was closely connected to opposition leader Michael Pintard. Raped, assaulted, and threatened to kill a former girlfriend between January 20th and April 4th of 2023. Cornish has denied those allegations. The campaign for former Prime Minister Dr. Jimenez's election as leader of the Free National Movement has accused the party of rushing Constituency Association elections ahead of the FNM's June 1st convention in an attempt to sway vote party leader Michael Pintard. In a letter sent to FNM Chairman Dr. Dwight Sands yesterday, Burton Miller, chairman of the Minutes 2024 campaign, called on the party to immediately suspend the Constituency Association elections until after the convention. The Minutes camp also called for the revocation of the results of any association elections held prior to the convention. Overseas, U.S. President Joe Biden saying that he would not supply offensive weapons that Israel would use or could use to launch an all-out assault on Rafah, the last major Hamas stronghold in Gaza. This coming over concern for the well-being of more than 1 million civilians sheltering there. Biden, in an interview with CNN, said the U.S. was still committed to Israel's defense and would supply Iron Dome rocket interceptors and other defensive arms, but that if Israel goes into Rafah, quote, we're not going to supply artillery shells used. The U.S. has historically provided enormous amounts of military aid to Israel. That's only accelerated in the aftermath of Hamas's October 7th attack that killed more than 1,200 in Israel and led to about 250 people being taken captive by militants. Biden's comments and his decision last week to pause a shipment of heavy bombs to Israel are the most striking manifestations of the growing daylight between his administration and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government. Biden said Wednesday that Israel's actions around Rafah had not yet crossed his red lines, but he's repeated that Israel needs to do far more to protect the lives of civilians in Gaza. In sports, from the NBA, Jalen Brunson returning from foot injury, helping the New York Knicks get past the Indiana Pacers. They now have a 2-0 lead in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The score 130 over 121 last night. And Nikola Jokic did it all again, and the MVP trophy is his again. The Joker, as he's known, the Denver Nuggets star from Serbia, announced Wednesday night as valuable player, his third time winning the award in the past 4 seasons, a feat that just 6 other players in league history have accomplished. He averaged 26.4 points, 12.4 rebounds, and 9 assists. Others averaged more in each category, but the Joker had better years, and he's had better years in each of those categories as well, but he was the only player to rank in the NBA's top 10 in points, rebounds, and assists per game this season. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Nay's Pancake Place. Here's what's happening. We've got a ridge of high pressure that remains firmly across the country, promoting dry and hot conditions and gentle to fresh breezes. There's a slight risk of rip currents along Atlantic exposures. Resident sun exposure during afternoon hours due to high UV indices. And the threat of brush fires will spread throughout the country due to dry, arid conditions occurring over all areas now. So for today, for all areas, we're looking at mostly sunny and hot conditions with a chance of isolated showers, mainly over open waters, becoming fair and warm tonight. Small craft caution remains in place for Atlantic coastlines. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, occasionally falling to 10 knots or less, and seas 2 to 4 feet along Atlantic exposures. Temperatures today getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius, but it will feel a whole lot hotter than that. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. Your first look at weather brought to you by Nay's Pancake Place in Grand Bahama. Nay's Pancake Place is back and ready to serve you. Visit us at our new takeout location, Chicken Shack, Fairfield East, Settlers Way, behind Sunshine Laundromat near the fire station. Indulge in some of your favorite dishes. And remember to try some of the new Nay's Pancake Place, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Give them a call, 351-5456, if you're in Grand Bahama, to place your order. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Simplify lending's how to ease your way. Writing your tomorrow, starting today. Simplify lending for simplified living. Tuition, vacation, or a home redo. Simplify lending's here for you. Simplify lending for simplified living. Simplify lending for simplified living.
Ready to save? $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org Caribbean.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. Wake up.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne Gardner, good morning. Are you there? Are you muted? Yes, you're on mute. Laverne. Unmute your mic.
Okay, I got it.
There we
Good morning.
go. There we go. Great to have you with us from Grand Bahama.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Mic being muted. I used to be so good at that.
Yeah, we haven't had that for a while. But hey, that's
Good
how
morning.
That's how it goes. Good to talk to you again. We have a lot to get
Always
to
good
this
to speak
morning.
with you.
A lot to get to this morning. We're going to get a whole lot in the news. We're going to get to that. And in business, we're going to save this for business. The latest on the, I don't know what to call it, but anyway, the public dispute over Freeport. And the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the government, the Grand Bahama Port Authority finally issuing a statement, in quotation marks, in response to the Prime Minister's address with the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce. And the Freeport Licensees Association also issuing a statement. And then as soon as that was like press send or something, Fred Mitchell, the PLP chairman, I believe he's speaking in his capacity as PLP chairman, he issued a statement. We're going to get to all of that in business on our 9 o'clock hour. But before that, we're going to talk about the Feeding 5,000 network. They've got something special happening, and we'll learn more about them. But right now, let's talk about in the news. And in the news, just want to quickly mention this. You need to read this story. This is some crazy stuff here. In the House of Assembly yesterday, question time. They had a question time, but the vast majority of the questions went unanswered, and that is a familiar thing when they do this.
Farce to me. I don't. It's like I'm doing this because I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
But. Right.
Not my heart's not in this, wasting my time. But last time it was it seemed to be a lack of preparedness. The person who needs to answer that isn't here. I have to go back and ask them, even though they had the question, right? But this time, this is some weird responses here. As Candia Dames writes in today's National Guardian, except for 2 questions answered by Fox Hill MP Fred Mitchell regarding diplomats appointed by the Davis administration, most of the questions went unanswered, with the Prime Minister, Philip Davis, accusing Michael Pintard, the opposition leader, these were his questions, Michael Pintard, of grandstanding, given that his party's leadership race is in a few weeks, even though many of these questions have been on the agenda as far back as October of last year. Just the most bizarre responses came from Energy and Transport Minister Jo Beth Colby Davis, who went as far as to say that she wasn't going to answer the questions that Pintard asked about BPL, and he had plenty of questions about BPL, until after the F&M convention in June 1st. Is she running for something? Why would that be her response, right? And as Candia writes, the connection between her obligation to answer the questions and the opposition party's convention was unclear.
Right. Well, what is that? What's the connection?
She's busy with her campaign.
These are just, it's always stalling tactics. Like I tell you, this question and answer period has long ago been a farce. And that is actually grandstanding.
Yeah. Well, now Colby Davis says that they're going to be transparent. They will answer the questions when there's information to provide. So this exchange here between the Prime Minister and Michael Pintard. So Pintard asked what initiatives the government has in place to improve mechanisms that enhance transparency and accountability as promised by the Progressive Liberal Party. The Prime Minister responded, quote, "The member is not prepared to answer that question at this time." Wow. What?
What's crazy to me, Dwight, it isn't as if these questions are questions that they just thought of.
And you don't need to research it. Like, you kind of know, right? Like, I could tell you, well, ombudsman, or we're going to have a committee, or what. Anyway, in the middle of being questioned, Davis took a shot at Pintard, who was preparing for his party's leadership race. They quote, "I know the member, he's in another realm right now, but I don't think he should be afraid. You're going to be all right. Trust me. You can trust me, so you don't have to grandstand today." Pintard responded, quote, "This is not for our private interaction. This is for members of the public."
Exactly.
And anyway, so more of this is asking questions about fiscal responsibility. The Prime Minister responded, quote, "The honorable member is not prepared to answer those questions at this time. I'm being guided by what I'm hearing out there as well." What? As the member said, this is for the public, but the public is telling me, don't be distracted, remain focused. You are on the wall doing a great work. Don't come down now. Okay. This is gonna give me a headache. I think I gotta stop. But pick. No. We're gonna move on. But you gotta pick up today's NASA Guardian because the circus is in town and it's at the House of Assembly. So if you want to be entertained, you can pick up today's NASA Guardian to read. Okay. Hey, Laverne, you probably saw the smoke in Grand Bahama. There's massive fire here in New Providence yesterday. Wild stuff at a scrapyard. It was frightening. You could see it for miles away. And for more on what happened, why don't you take a listen to this report from our Destiny Johnson.
Fire erupted at CRT Enterprises scrap metal yard on Joe Farrington Road Wednesday morning following the puncture of a derelict vehicle's gas tank. Students at the neighboring Cleveland Eneas Primary and Sadie Curtis Primary Schools were dismissed early due to the smoke. Assistant Commissioner of Police Damian Robinson says there were no injuries reported and the blaze did not pose a threat to residents.
Sometime around about 10:17 a.m. this morning, we received a call from our control room with regards to a large fire that was going on at the Robert Scrap Metal, CRT Enterprises, known as we all know as Robert Scrap Metal, on Joe Farrington Road. Upon fire units being dispatched, we came and we met the compound fully ablaze. As you can see at this time, firefighters are still battling that fire. We were able to contain it, majority of it thus far.
Proprietor of the metal yard, Everett Rolls, says after the fire started, employees attempted to use fire extinguishers, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, what really happened, we had a vehicle came in. We normally recycle derelict vehicles, a derelict vehicle came in. Usually we request that the customers take off the gas tanks, strip off the gas tanks before they bring them. This particular vehicle came in without the gas tank stripped off. When our excavator went to lift it, the gas tank got punctured and it exploded. And the fire sort of spread very quickly.
The last fire at this establishment happened over 20 years ago.
Well, that one was larger because the fire department, even though they had a little issue this morning, responded fairly quickly. And last time they had to go to the canal to get water. This time, they can move the trucks. They have more equipment, so they can move the trucks back and forth.
Bull says despite the disruption, he hopes to resume full operations as soon as possible.
Well, we'll do an assessment, but we're a small business, so we have to bounce back as quickly as we could. So we really jump right back in. Fortunately, none of our containers were damaged, so we can continue loading them to ship out the recycled materials.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Destiny Johnson.
Okay, so it was, like we said, just unbelievable, and schools had to close. You might have heard in that report. I'm sure, and there are a lot of residents who live around there. That must have been a nightmare. If you were near that and had an experience, give us a call, 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Now, I don't know if this was a coincidence. I don't know if it was because of or just bad luck. We had an issue with water in New Providence as well. The Water and Sewage Corporation, if you're on city water, almost everybody was off, it seemed, and island-wide. And they issued a statement yesterday advising that customers would experience reduced water pressure. There was no water. Anyway, for 2 to 3 hours due to a system-wide mechanical failure. They said the teams were investigating and working diligently to resolve the issue in the shortest period of time. The corporation regretted any inconvenience, but, of course, we were wondering if that impeded the firefight. Our teams on the scene said that firefighters were heard to be complaining about the water pressure in the water. So don't know if one caused the other or what it was. I don't know if there's been any explanation yet, but this was a terrifying situation yesterday, and that area is residential mainly, and that could have spread so easily. We know it's been very, very dry. Every day the Department of Meteorology is warning of, we know this stuff, it's been kind of breezy. That's a recipe for disaster. This could have spread and taken out half this island. But the question is, why are these facilities in these areas? Why are they near homes and businesses like this? We've got many others like this that are ticking time bombs.
Is there, is there zoning?
I'm sure there is, but what is that? What about it?
I'm just asking.
What about it?
Because you're over here, in the Freeport-Lukai area, we have zoning.
Oh, okay. Because y'all have a body that truly monitors and is responsible for these things, right? We have town planning, yeah. But I mean, there are violations anyone can point to on any street at any time. These are apparently rules
over here, but you won't see a business like that necessarily in an area
where people live.
A residential area.
Yeah. Let's go to this call and see what you have to say. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
This situation with the fire, the residential neighborhood, for the type of business, you and your co-host rightfully zoned in on the fact that why is this type of business allowed to operate in a neighborhood, a residential neighborhood in the first place? The outcome in this particular case was contained, but considering the kind of hazardous material that he's working with, it really should not have been approved to be operated in a neighborhood. That being said, with that kind of operation in a residential neighborhood, I think the time has come for the Bahamas to really, really take a stronger look at its hazmat, fire safety regulations. Just the other day, we've had a series of fire on boats out the port. We've lost stalls at the fish fry at Port-of-Speed. I'm wondering if we're really paying attention, because I'm really concerned that the operation at all of the fish fries are not sufficiently in compliance with fire safety practices. And should we continue down this road, it's only a matter of time. And we really need to take a serious look at how we approach safety, whether it is related to fire with businesses like the fish fry, or even the issue with safety with construction trucks operating on the road. There's a lot of really serious safety issues in this country that really needs to be addressed systematically before we have other major fallouts that we won't be able to contain.
Yeah. Well, indeed, absolutely. But you see, thank you very much, John. You see what happens here. We wait until there is a disaster, until someone's life is lost, until there is extreme damage before we act. I understand it. I totally agree with you, though. Totally agree with you. All right, so we got a lot of your messages coming in. People asking about how can this be allowed to remain in a largely residential area. This person says there's literally a gas station next door. Yep, it is unbelievable. Wow. This text here. The problem is a lack of local government that would be enforcing the zoning laws. I'm sure it would help. It would definitely help. Here's a question.
Did you send that text yourself?
I didn't.
I'm just kidding, Dwight. I'm kidding.
I don't. Anyway.
You're tired.
Right, exactly. That's the best way to put it. Yeah, I don't have the energy to send text messages like that to myself. There might have been a time, many years ago, when I was optimistic about this. But okay, that's for when we had that Grand Bahama discussion later. This person here, it was crazy to hear the stadium was on fire because it was massive and it looked so close to where I live in the West. Yes, people telling me they live way out west, and they could see the smoke from there. They could smell it. They said, I don't know about smelling it, but they could see it. Wow. I live in that area, and someone's backyard next to the scrapyard was completely on fire. I'm interested to know if that house survived. Wow. We have some images on our social media, the Nassau Guardian social media, where people were dousing their roofs with water. Just trying to prevent any sparks or flames from reaching their homes. But I mean, hopefully they got that soaked before the water cut off, or maybe they were on the well. I don't know. Boy. This person says there were these businesses in non-residential areas and homes allowed to build near them. In any event, plenty of people live around there now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what do you do now? What should happen? Because it was maybe, I don't know, zoned for non-residential purposes, that all the people who live there should just leave their houses and move somewhere else? Or is it time for that area to move?
Let's just go with that, right, for a minute. If it was zoned, why were people just allowed to continuously build?
Yeah, this is the Bahamas.
I don't understand what that means.
Oh, okay. All right. This person says, I saw the smoke all the way from inside Lyford Key. I thought the dump was on fire. Yes, I ended up having to go out west and driving. And every time they go, you're thinking it's this place, and you pass that area, like, nope, it's not there. And then you think it's this, and nope. And you're like, where is that? And then finally saw on social media that it was all the way out to Joe Farrington Road. But you could see that across the whole island. It was crazy. The question arises again regarding roadside mechanic operations. This is, this is not quite what that was. This is a serious hazard. Further, I question whether insurance companies increase the premiums of people living in such high-risk areas. Hey, the whole island, because of the practices of some of the people around here. There used to be a car dump out South Beach that was far away from homes, but homes were eventually built around it. There is another one on Soldier Road, but the island is only 21 by 7. Where can it go? Mrs. Strachan, please get serious. If they don't enforce restrictive covenants in the government subdivisions, why expect zoning regulations to be enforced anywhere else? I have to get serious? Okay. The rules are to be ignored and laughed at around here, apparently, in any single sector and section of every part of our lives, it seems. We've got a big problem, and we won't learn until there is a catastrophe. It's very scary. All right, so we've got some questions or text messages from earlier about the Prime Minister and what happened in the House yesterday. BPL, if the questions can't be answered, how come the bill was quickly passed? Well, you heard they want to wait till after the convention for some reason. This texter says here... where did that one go? Okay. I watched yesterday and I was disgusted with the Prime Minister and his crew. They need to be much more transparent to the Bahamian people, not just the opposition. I must say the questions that were asked are what the Bahamian people want to know. I think that's what they're saying. Yeah. My goodness. Oh, wow. Okay, this is insane. So I'm getting a photo from somebody who was on a plane yesterday. This is
wow. The dump?
The
fire.
The
Listen
fire.
to me. The fire at the dump. I'm saying that now. No, with the fire.
The place might be kind of dumpy. Yeah, no, this is a spectacular photo. It looks like a bomb went off, a nuclear bomb, and the mushroom cloud. That's how it looks like from the air. This is quite a photo. Texter, you need to share this, or give me permission to share it.
He or she is, and sharing it with
they're
you.
sharing it with me, but they need to share it in another way, unless you give me permission to share it on our social media. Is that what you're doing? Wow.
Right, stop saying that, because you're the only one who can see it right now.
Clearly, the astronauts in space saw it too.
We clearly want
astronauts
to say wow
in space
as well.
saw it too. They're saying yes, I can share it. So I'll post it on our. Should I give you credit? No, I can't do. I can't give the texter credit for he doesn't want.
Yeah.
He doesn't want that. Okay, I'll share it on our social media, folks. So follow us on Twitter or Facebook if you don't already, and I'll post it in just a moment. Oh. Okay. Continue to text messages saying, yeah, send it to me. Send it to me.
Exactly.
Ah, man. That really could have ended badly yesterday. We're glad that it seems that nobody was hurt, right? So that's fantastic. But wow. Okay, so more text messages before we go to a break. This person says here, I passed on Prince Charles Drive just now, and I can still... Are you saying see or smell black smoke coming? Well, I guess it's see. Black smoke coming from that site. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be smoldering for quite a while. The government needs to provide land for these businesses to relocate. This is a text. Okay, well, for 6 weeks now, there's been no internet in Central Andros. No explanation from BTC. This text
That's crazy.
That is insane. This person says that when the PLP finally lowers our electricity bills, they will go back to where they met them because they caused them to double and triple. Will they count this as a promise fulfilled? Well, this fire is another example of our country's lack of maintenance countrywide. Is there anyone that ensures there isn't hazardous businesses in residential zones, from government maintaining their buildings to price control, road paving, business licensing? I can go on. this island is operating like Gotham City. I think it inspired Batman, the creation of it. What about the residents near the fire? How were they affected health-wise? Yeah, that's a great question. How are they doing? How are they going to be doing? Mm-hmm. You can still see the smoke at, well, boy. Let's take this call before we go to the break. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah. By the way, for the Prime Minister, for the PLP, they've made a decision that they're going to gamble and see if they're going to get a weak leader, and they don't have to answer any questions if they could get the minister's return.
Oh, boy.
That should be a message to the FNM alone that they're looking for someone they could stand and brush over.
Okay. I don't know if that's fair to say.
They said it right away. They said it that Kobe Davis says, I'll wait till after the election to see if essentially she's implying that she may not have to answer after the election.
I don't know if that's what she's implying. We don't know if that's what she's implying. But we want to know what she meant by that.
What's the difference? The only difference is you waiting for an election. The only difference, you have an expectation. If the same person is going to be there, you have to answer the question to the same person. But again, one of the emphasis, I watched the show. I call it the show because it's the circus. I watched the show, and their emphasis was on the fact that the FNM didn't ask any questions. And then when Michael Pinto asserted that he answered 100% of their questions during his tenure, they then used you have a person in there that's a master at linguistic contortionism, who then used the argument that it was said, but they did this, and it wasn't disputed, all different things. So in essence, they did not want to answer the question coming from Mr. Pintad, but I would assume that on the second or whenever the next day, they will have to answer, because if the FNM is serious about governance in the Bahamas, they would choose a leader who can hold the government accountable.
Okay. All right.
I'll be back for the Freeport part.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's go to the break. Let me read this as we go to the break. These text messages. I'm on locust still across the sky. This one says here, additionally, I wonder what safety procedures were ignored in that operation to puncture a car's gas tank. Well, I think they explained in the piece what happened there. I work at the airport, and I could smell the smoke all on the airport road as well as at the airport. Wow. And another one says, I just drove by, and you can still see flames. Yikes. My goodness. Let's go to the break, Laverne. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
My family up the road there in Town, and everywhere I went, all the people were talking about the battle of the band. Go call the fire engine. Run, tell them come quick. I could feel my temperature rising. Never wait, we can scream like this. Lord, all over my body, from my head straight down to my feet. Ancient beat this pint on the good drum, and that's all Lord, they make it sweet.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley.
More dangerous storms in the forecast today. Parts of the South have been battling this fierce weather. Tornadoes, hail. The AP's Donna Warder.
Columbia, Tennessee resident Eva Gray Howard and her husband sat in their truck and prayed Wednesday evening as they watched a tornado rip through their city.
Here it comes. Feel it? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Jesus, please. Spare us, Jesus.
Storms left 2 people dead in Tennessee and 1 in North Carolina. An outbreak of torrential rain and tornadoes has cut across the country this week, from the plains to the Midwest and now in the southeastern United States. And forecasters warn that more dangerous storms could come. I'm Donna Warder.
Israel responding now to President Biden's decision not to supply Israel with offensive weapons that it could use in Rafah. The AP's Jennifer King.
This follows his decision to pause a shipment of heavy bombs to Israel last week. Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdan, in an interview with Israeli Channel 12 TV News, said the pause in shipments was a very disappointing decision, even frustrating, and suggested the move stemmed from political pressure, protests, and the upcoming election.
President Biden says the U.S. will still supply Israel with defensive weapons. Porn star Stormy Daniels returns to the witness stand today in Donald Trump's hush money trial, the defense trying to undermine her credibility. Former President Trump denies they ever had sex. President Putin says this morning Russia will do everything to prevent global confrontation, but he says they won't be threatened, and he warns Russia's strategic forces are combat ready. There's word that a Boeing 737 plane has skidded off a runway in Senegal, injuring 10 people. No details. This is AP News. To debate or not to debate? That's the question as the presidential candidates get ready for November. And there is this.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is challenging Donald Trump to a head-to-head debate. In an open letter posted on X, formerly Twitter, Kennedy said the Libertarian Convention in Washington later this month provides a perfect neutral territory for he and Trump to have a debate where the former president can defend his record for his way to appear at the convention separately. Trump wants to debate President Biden during the campaign, but has shied away from other rivals. In recent weeks, he has ramped up attacks against Kennedy. On social media, he called him a radical left liberal who's been put in place in order to help crooked Joe Biden. I'm Ed Donahue.
A cruise ship sailed into a New York City port with a dead whale across its bow. They're trying to figure out now how it died. This was a 44-foot whale. I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
Got your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Get a no-fee auto loan with up to 100% financing. In your real-time traffic this morning, we've got heavy traffic on Eastern Road as usual, just east of Fox Hill to about eastbound. Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections as well, like Beatrice Avenue and at Soldier Road as you head into Robinson Road. Robinson's busy from there straight through to Old Trail Road. Soldier is also busy just north of that intersection heading toward Bernard, Wolf, and Village Road. We've got Blue Hill Road also busy for you near Soldier Road, especially as you head over that hill to Independence Drive. And traffic is backed up along Tony Williams-Darling Highway as you exit that roundabout heading westbound to Bahamas Games Boulevard. You're going to be seeing quite a bit of traffic there. We've also got, as usual, Milo Butler Highway. Heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail Roundabout straight through to the roundabout with Tony Williams-Darling Highway. And Glass Road is busy for you about midway between Fire Trail and the roundabout with Bahamar Boulevard and JFK Drive. You'll see that traffic in front of you if you're heading northbound. Pockets along Carmichael Road heading westbound out to Coral Harbor Road looking a bit slow moving at this hour. Now, first look at traffic for this morning. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend traffic brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/carloan/all of you for more information. 7:50, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a ridge of high pressure remains firmly across the islands, promoting dry and hot conditions and gentle to fresh breezes. There is a slight risk of rip currents along Atlantic exposures. Residents should avoid prolonged sun exposure during afternoon hours due to high heat indices, high UV indices. And the threat of brush fires will spread throughout the country with these continued dry and arid conditions over all areas now. So for today, for all areas, your forecast calls for mostly sunny and hot conditions with a chance of isolated showers, mainly becoming fair and warm tonight. Smoke-craft caution remains in place for Atlantic coastlines. Temperatures getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius, but it will feel hotter than that. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure expected to shift east of the islands ahead of a weak frontal boundary that will move into the northwest Bahamas on Sunday with very little fanfare. So for Friday, tomorrow, mostly sunny and hot with a chance of isolated showers, becoming fair and warm at night. Saturday, partly cloudy, a bit breezy with a chance of a few isolated showers over the northwest Bahamas as the front approaches. Mostly sunny and hot, becoming fair and warm at night in the central and southeast Bahamas. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Easy Car Sales invites you to discover the world of electric vehicles. There are 3 quality brands and many models to choose from. Sedans, SUVs, and pickups are all in stock, even commercial vans and trucks for your business. The road to sustainability starts with a single test drive. Visit easy242.com and get on the road to a better electric future.
RBC. Are you buying a home, renovating, or exploring mortgage options? With cash back and up to 90% financing, we'll find the perfect mortgage for you. Pre-qualify in just 60 seconds and get connected with a mortgage specialist today. Visit rbc.com/mortgages/all of you. RBC. Conditions apply.
Here's to the go-getters, the early risers, and the late-night dreamers. You, the visionaries, painting futures in your mind, in your studio, your office, your sacred space. Here's to the adventurers, explorers of every realm. To you, the innovators, turning the cogs of progress. In a world where connection is a lifeline, a pathway to possibilities. Alive is the perfect connection for everyone, every lifestyle. Every day.
Visit BeAlive.com today.
Are you ready for the best of the best? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group up for sound promotion, and Guardian Radio presents the best of the best Rake and Script Explosion Concert. Mark your calendars for May 11th as Super Club Breezes grounds ignite with Bahamian talent featuring KB, Gino D, Funky D, Lon Moxie, and Shine 242. Join the Falcons, Iron Storm, Jovi Pierre, Johnny Cake, Mama D, Nishi LS, Pat Ramis, Stevie S, and Shad Colley and the VIPs for an electrifying night of music and culture. Tickets are flying, so grab yours now. Available online at BahamasEtickets.com or swing by the Beauty Shack on Soldier Road and Carmichael Road. This is the event of the year. The best of the best Rake and Scrape Explosion at Breezes Resorts. Gates open at 6 p.m. Don't miss out on the Bahamian magic.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/home for more information. Conditions apply.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
And Winnie
Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker string. Collection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Call the fire engine, run, tell 'em come quick. I can feel my temperature rising, never could we can creep like.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. After the news, we want to get into the trial without juries bill. That passed in the House. We'll talk about that. And some interesting comments from National Security Minister Wayne Monroe about the death penalty. We'll get to all of that after the news. But some more of your text messages on this massive fire yesterday. This text just says here, the owner is saying that one vehicle that still had a gas tank attached started the blaze. That's their admission of guilt to negligence. Why not revoke their license and amend laws to outskirt all hazardous-based materials? In the report he says that they usually ask the customers to remove the gas tank. It's like, okay. But this vehicle didn't. It wasn't done on that vehicle. And when it was lifted, it punctured the gas tank, and then there was the explosion and the fire started. Boy. This person says, I know that attempting to move the car led to a gas tank being punctured, which then triggered the fire. But in a well-organized scrap metal operation, that what operators do, either operators would prepare the cars for a move or whatever handling procedures they need to follow. Okay, something's missing here, but I get what you're saying. Remember, the BEC fire started because safety protocols were ignored when restarting a generator. Another fire was spread because, according to Leslie Miller, cleanup protocols for oil spills were slacked to non-existent. I work in an unrelated operation where procedures and protocols are routinely and proudly ignored by senior management because it just takes too long to follow them. Look how fast we did that. Look at that Dolphin Key where 9 whole dolphins apparently starved to death. How long does it take for a dolphin to starve to death? I bet you $1 million that the Ministry of the Environment doesn't know what happened. When was the last safety inspection? Very good questions there. Yeah, negligence definitely a part of this. We'll pick this up and more on the other side of the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
My body from my head straight down to my feet. I shall meet this fine on the good drum and the solo lyrical sweet. Oh, I went to Cat Island to the musical festival. I was always into reggae and never checked for the Reagan script. Lord, I stay with my
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Follow us there. And text us on the Gardening Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. And now at 8:25, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. We've got a ridge of high pressure remaining firmly across the islands, promoting dry and hot conditions and gentle to fresh breezes. There is also a slight risk of rip currents along Atlantic exposures, and residents should avoid prolonged sun exposure during afternoon hours due to high UV indices. And the threat of brush fires will rip the whole country now as the dry and arid conditions continue over all areas. So for all areas today, look for mostly sunny and hot conditions with a chance of isolated showers, mainly over open waters, becoming fair and warm tonight. Small craft caution remains in effect for Atlantic coastlines. Temperatures today in the upper 80s, around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius, but it may feel even warmer than that. And overnight lows tonight getting down about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In extended outlook, high pressure expected to shift east of the islands ahead of a weak frontal boundary that will move into the northwest Bahamas on Sunday, Mother's Day, with very little fanfare, though. So for Friday, tomorrow, mostly sunny and hot with a chance of isolated showers, becoming fair and warm at night. Saturday, partly cloudy, a bit breezy with the chance of a few isolated showers over the northwest Bahamas as the front passes or approaches, and mostly sunny and hot, becoming fair and warm at night in the central and southeastern Bahamas. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in store. 8:27, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Get a no-fee auto loan with up to 100% financing. In your real-time traffic right now, got a number of hot spots to tell you about. We've got Blue Hill Road seeing heavy traffic from well south of St. Vincent Road, straight through if you're heading northbound, all the way up to the roundabout with Independence Drive, especially near Carmichael Road and near the junction with Soldier Road. And as you get closer to that roundabout, Independence Drive is busy for you as well, westbound, as you head toward that roundabout. We've got East Street seeing heavy traffic from well south of Sapodilla Boulevard if you're heading northbound, straight through to the Soldier Road intersection on the way to the roundabout with East-West Highway and Independence Drive, and on to Robinson Road, that intersection there. Looking very busy for you. Blue Hill Road, back to Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill Road's going to be busy for you as you approach Wolf Road and Poinciana Drive. So straight through Cordo Avenue, you're going to be seeing that heavy, slow-moving traffic for you northbound this morning. Eastern Road, heavy traffic for you east of Fox Hill, straight up to Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. Prince Charles Drive, the major intersections, especially as you get closer to Soldier Road and Robinson Road from Soldier straight up to Old Trail and Marathon Road, going to be slow-moving for you westbound. Marathon Road also busy for you northbound this morning. Then, of course, it's Mile Butler Highway, as usual, heavy traffic there from Bellet Road through the roundabout at Fire Trail, straight through to Tawny Bloom's Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. And the Six Acre Roundabout also busy for you, multiple directions. JFK Drive eastbound, southbound on your Providence Highway, northbound on Mile Butler Highway as well. Slow-moving traffic at Saunders Beach for West Bay if you're heading eastbound. And then, again, just pockets of slow-moving traffic on Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. That's what we're looking at right now. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/carloan/all of you for more information.
Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. we service you with us, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this
Real talk.
to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find color in every day.
Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road Warehouse Clearance Sale. Up to 50% off under the Big Tent only. Going on now. Everything under the tent must go. School uniforms, character raincoats, socks, fabrics and laces, backpacks, lunch bags, threads, zippers, ribbons, hair bubbles, and much more. Everything must go. Up to 50% off. Yes, up to 50% off. Save on selected school uniforms now. Restrictions may apply. Hurry into Janae's Chesapeake Road Tent Warehouse Clearance Sale. No exchanges or refunds on the items on sale. All sales are final.
RBC is a bit for all of you. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to from every big decision to every new adventure. RBC is a bit for all of you. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice. It's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Make Mother's Day one to remember with a delightful Mother's Day brunch of Haagen-Dazs and Fun Foods Wholesale. It's simple. Just head over to Lickety Split or Super Value locations and purchase a pint of your favorite Haagen-Dazs ice cream for just $8.99. After purchasing, don't forget to write your full name and number on the back of your receipt and drop it into any entry box at the store. You're now in the running for our grand prize drawing, taking place on May 10th. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Happy Mother's Day from Haagen-Dazs. Promotion ends May 8th.
Yeah, what Boss Man was saying in the back there just now. About what? The luncheon? Why you always worried about food? No, about how we gotta pay a little more for national insurance. Mildred, you talking food. I can't afford to pay that. And you're always crying, poor mouth. Ain't gonna be much. Boss still gotta pay. Voice of July 2024. I think that federal benefit is what did help my boy Tony through the pandemic. That same unemployment benefit. And guess what? What? Susan, I think she'd get a pregnancy benefit, eh? You mean maternity benefit, eh? So now, we gotta do our part to make sure. All right.
For more information, visit nipratencrease.com. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Stand accused of loving you too much, and I hope it's not a crime, 'cause if it is, I'm guilty. Loving you. Oh,
yeah. We are back 6.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about the Feeding 5,000 Network and their charity fitness fundraiser that's coming up. in just a couple of days. And then later in business, we'll talk about the latest with the Grand Bahama, the Freeport issue, the Port Authority, the government, and what's going on there. All right, so Laverne, are you muted again?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. So the bill passed that's going to allow the option for trials without juries. Our Rachel Scott writing about it in today's National Guardian. A new bill that would allow individuals the right to juryless trials in the Supreme Court. We're told by Prime Minister Philip Davis would promote the swift and fair resolution of cases. Davis making the comments as he opened debate on the trial by judge alone miscellaneous provisions bill 2024, which was debated along with the Supreme Court Amendment Bill 2024 and passed yesterday evening. Davis said the reliance on jury trials contributes to delays and ultimately denied justice in some cases, which creates a, quote, culture of impunity. The Prime Minister said, quote, we all know that the backlogs and lengthy delays in our criminal justice system contribute to a culture of impunity. Put simply, too many criminals in our country think they can run out the clock. They're willing to take their chances in a justice system they don't believe will hold them accountable anytime soon, if ever. And unfortunately, long delays do undermine conviction rates. That is true for multiple reasons, make it harder for prosecutors to prove cases that rely on victims and witnesses, as they may be unwilling or unable to provide testimony years after a crime was committed, as recollection of events may fade with time. So we know that all too often justice delayed results in justice denied. Well, that trial by judge alone bill would allow for individuals committed to stand trial in the Supreme Court on indictment to waive their right to jury trial and elect trial by judge alone, where the accused persons have either sought and received legal advice or waived their right to legal advice. Referring to it as a bedrock constitutional right that protects from prosecutorial overreach, Davis assured that individuals will still be able to have their cases heard by a jury should they prefer that. However, he said that in some cases, particularly more technical ones, there are advantages to having a judge determine the verdict. He said, quote, there are many reasons a defendant may prefer a bench trial. For example, in matters involving complex or technical facts or law, a defendant may prefer to have have matters adjudicated by a judge rather than a jury of lay people. Trial by jury remains, the defendant is simply gaining the right to choose for himself. Davis said juries can be capricious and unpredictable. He noted that recently a panel discussion in celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Eugene DePeach Law School, former Chief Justices recently noted instances in which jury trials had led to perplexing outcomes out of step with reasonable expectations. The Prime Minister said, quote, a defendant might view a jury as vulnerable to bias, prejudice, or emotional appeal and prefer that a judge evaluate the strength of the evidence in the case. Bench trials can yield more predictable and consistent rulings. One additional point, this is the Prime Minister again, is relevant here. When a judge makes his or her determination, he or she must use facts, statutes, and case law to explain the basis for that decision. Juries, on the other hand, are not expected or required to give the rationale for their verdicts or to explain their decisions in those instances when the verdict may deviate from the anticipated outcome based on the law. The Prime Minister said legal scholars and professionals have long been requesting the right to trial by judge alone. There's a lot more of that in the paper today. But let's get your reaction to it, folks. Already we've got some text messages on it. I want to hear from you. Call in as well, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll-free, 242-300-57. Because text us, 422-4796. Laverne, what do you make of it before we get to these messages here?
Then definitely you're going to save some time. Resources, I guess. If you are allowed to decide whether you want a trial by jury or not. So I don't know how I don't see that it really would be any more beneficial to to that person than a jury trial. But in terms of time, I think we could maybe get through some more cases because you eliminate going through the jury process and the interviewing and all that stuff.
Okay. I could. It really does depend on the case. Really does depend on the case. As Prime Minister cited the examples from the Chief Justices, every morning I'm reading the findings of juries, and I'm blown away by what they have determined based on very clear evidence and who gets free. Witnesses saying they saw people, cameras saying they have the accused on camera, and they're unanimously set free. Juries? Very interesting. But yeah, it's great to have the option. I think this is a wonderful step. This is a great move. But I don't know if people are going to be entirely happy with the outcomes in any event. That is always the case when humans are involved, right? But the option is wonderful. Let's see what text messages are saying. This person says here there should be jury trials in civil matters only with the ability to waive by agreement. Okay. Boy, I wonder if Kirk Cornish will now have a non-jury trial. He might want to go to the jury. Anyway, this is about the fire. Exhausted that, I believe. This person said, well, I have to read this one, even though this goes back to the Prime Minister dodging the questions during question time. Dwight, can you imagine your woman asking you where you've been last night and you respond, I'm not prepared to answer these questions? I don't have my information prepared. We really ain't serious in this country. I tell you, these people who run the country. And they go on. More examples of how it just won't work in regular life. Can you imagine going through customs and immigration and telling them I'm not prepared to answer these questions? Oh, boy.
I know we're laughing about it, but it just really, to me, highlights how people in those positions see the public, because these aren't just questions that the opposition is just asking if they could ask questions. These are questions that are important to Bahamian. And you knew that these questions and answer was coming, period was coming, and I believe it was intentional. Then you say, I'm not answering. Oh, I'll answer after the election.
No, well,
after
the convention.
After whatever. That's not humorous to me. That's offensive to me as a voter in this country. That's offensive to me. And a lot of time, I won't say a lot because that's a really big generalization. But we elect these officials and they go on and they say whatever it is that they want to say. And it's, oh, I got this one and I said that. And then you have their rabid supporters who think, yes, this is awesome. But what did we really accomplish? What did we really gain?
Yeah.
Right? So this was another wasted time because you're not prepared to answer the questions that have been put forth. And you'll answer it. Basically, you'll answer it when you're good and ready. I'm asking you questions and you're saying to me, oh, trust me, everything is going to be transparent. Well, okay, here's an opportunity for everything to be transparent. Tell me what you know now.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so more text messages. We'll get to that call in just a second. This person says, I don't agree with the bill that they passed yesterday. One of these days, I'll tell you stories. The island is too small and too family-oriented. I'm going to have, okay. They're suggesting that there could be some trouble because of judges. Wow, that's some serious stuff there. Whoa, a lot of people talking about judges. Oh, good Lord. Wow. Okay. Well, again, you get to pick your fate. So if you feel a certain way about somebody, But who's the judge? Oh, no. Let's go with the jury. I hope you get to know who the judge is before you... Will you know who the... Before they say, well, this is the judge who will be adjudicating your case? Like, no. Can we go with the jury? Can you do it like that? Like, I don't know. Or you just get stuck.
No,
when the judge said, and like, oh, no, not this judge.
Like, never mind, I want a jury. I want a trial by jury. That's fine.
Right. I guess you could always say we asked for the judge to recuse him or herself, I guess, because we have a history or something. No? Anyway, let's take this call really quickly. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
And good morning to your guests. I ain't sure how that judge and jury thing will wake out too good, or you know what I mean. But the information that was not forthcoming in the House of Assembly, we have been used to doing things so backwards and so wrong in this country. They must need hearts and motor in the House of Assembly to control things, because the Prime Minister and the Minister, the member, they ain't supposed to be answering like that, you know. They have something called the leader of government business in the House, right?
They do.
The Prime Minister ain't supposed to be the one to get up and say the member ain't answer that. That ain't his position. That's supposed to come from the member for the leader of government business in the House of Assembly. So that is wrong.
Well, I think during question time you can direct the questions to...
Pardon me?
I think during question times you can direct the questions to the responsible minister.
Yep, whatever it is, say the member can answer that. He out of order.
Mm-hmm.
That's not his position. Mr. Monroe's supposed to get up and say that.
Okay. Well, again, I think during question time is a little bit different.
We need to, Dwight, in this country, we need to get it right, Dwight. We've been doing it wrong for so long. Everybody thinks it's right. Thanks for taking my call this morning.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Let's read these messages really quickly before we go to a break. This person says here, given the choice of being heard by a judge and being found guilty, or choosing a jury and waiting until witness memories fade and evidence is lost and you can go free, what would you choose? No, jury isn't a mandate. It is a choice. What? Anyway, you lost me to that last line, but okay. And can I read this on air? Let's see. Oh boy, this is. I'm gonna do it anyway. I was part of a non-jury case with a high-profile politician, and it was clear that the judge was friends or knew this person, and that was over a number of years ago. And we're still waiting on a ruling from that judge. We only had a verbal ruling. And we took it to the appeal court, and once the judge ruled in the politician's favor, but the Court of Appeal overruled it. I have a serious problem with some of the judges, and if that is going to be an option, I feel that the judge has to be critiqued, I guess, as you would when you're you should know who the judge is before you can say, okay, let's do it. But that might be used in the pros and cons with that too, though. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this goes, folks. We will keep you posted. We will keep you posted. All right, let's go to the break. When we come back, we're going to tell you about an exciting thing that's happening this weekend with the Feeding 5,000 Network. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
I hope to God that I never had to testify. 'Cause if I do, everyone is they're gonna cry. They're gonna say, oh, like it's guilty.
Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic is where trusted and best care meets consistency and dedication. Let our expert specialists take you on a healthcare journey where warmth, compassion, and your well-being come first. From diagnosis to prescription, we are with you every step of the way, ensuring your peace of mind. Visit us today at Centerville Medical Center, Collins Avenue and 6 Terrace, and discover quality, compassionate healthcare at Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Mothers are the heart of our homes, the soul of our memories, and the guiding light through life's journeys. Show your love with a gift from Kelly's House & Home's Mother's Day sale, Friday, May 3rd through Saturday, May 11th. Enjoy 20% off selected dinnerware, glassware, luggage, silk flowers, and picture frames, except on net items. One lucky person can win a gift basket for Mother's Day. Visit our Facebook page for more information. Kelly's House & Home's Mother's Day sale, May 3rd through 11th. Happy Mother's Day, all with love from Kelly's House & Home.
Are you a business owner or HR professional? Pension specialists are here to empower your employees with market-leading retirement solutions and to make implementing group pensions easy and cost-effective. With RF, starting or switching your company pension plan is a breeze, and there are no setup fees. If you're looking for strong investment performance and low fees, visit rfgroup.com/empower and empower your team to retire comfortably with RF Group pensions today. That's rfgroup.com/empower.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk. Always.
I just couldn't help myself. And now I'm strung out. Don't know what to do, no. I'm guilty of loving you. Oh yeah, I'm guilty of loving you. I'm not ashamed to say I love you. I love you. I love you. I can't help it. I just can't help it. Love you. I'm guilty. Oh, I'm guilty. I know you belong to another. But I can't help but love you. Oh, yes, I do. Stand the still loving you.
I don't go in water, I just go to fight with somebody's daughter. I like to the love. Yeah. You should know I'm a Bahamian from the Bahamas. It's the place you vacation. Slum domino every occasion. If I did it over, I wouldn't change it.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Laverne Gardner. As we said, we're changing gears. We've got a special event coming up this weekend, the charity fitness fundraiser for Feeding 5,000 Network. Here to tell us all about this, very pleased to welcome President and Founder Keisha Knowles-Smith. And we have from Peach Fit, we have Crystal... I can't read my hand. Crystal Mackey. Good morning, Crystal. Great to have you with us. Keisha, good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning.
Keisha's just remembering that we've known each other all our lives. Because we've both changed a lot. But it is wonderful to have you with us. Tell us about Feeding 5,000 Network. What is this all?
So the Feeding 5,000 Network is a nonprofit organization that is geared towards creating positive change in the nation. And we are a group of persons that came together initially to address persons during the pandemic that were in distress with food. However, we shifted gears based on my personal career. I'm an educator by profession, and we started to veer into offering support to families in need. And in 2022, as students started to return to the classroom, we know that there were a lot of academic gaps. So we started to offer workshops, youth programs, and then summer program free of charge for kids, underprivileged kids in the inner city community.
Wow.
And we've just been spreading our wings based on different areas that we are passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who we are.
How's the response been to all of this?
It has been really receptive, overwhelming, and really great. We've had from inception, like I said, we started with feeding in the inner city communities, but we've had the opportunity to touch so many other persons. We've had the opportunity to build bonds with persons in the various homes, senior citizen homes, in different minute homes, and we've just been able to touch a lot of persons and put smiles on faces, pretty much.
Yeah. What are the age groups that you're dealing with, that you're addressing?
Well, we say we deal with ages 8 to 12, but we deal with 8 to 17. For the young persons, we deal with pretty much anyone. And I say that because initially we wanted to just stick with a particular age group, like primary and probably junior students. But then we had senior students that were not only looking for opportunities to volunteer volunteer and get community service hours, but they became so encouraged by the work that was being done and all of the different initiatives that they said, man, you cannot put a cap or age cap on it. I gotta be a part of this. And so we've had parents, we've had adults, young adults, mature persons, those that are young at heart. And so we cater for the flow and for the summer program and for the young persons. We deal with young people, but we also have a group of mature persons, and we have persons just throughout the community that are very supportive of us.
Yeah, we'll talk more about flow in just a bit. But with the food assistance, the need is still great even after the worst of the pandemic has passed?
Yes, I would say the need is to being, I think as Bahamians, we are a group of prideful people. And a lot of times we prefer to suffer in silence. And so if you don't know what is going on, if you're not really being your brother's keeper, if you're not doing that check every now and again and seeing, well, how are things going on? Persons will go through suffer in silence. A lot of persons will battle with depression. We hope that persons would not fall into or succumb to go to into suicidal thoughts and that direction, but the need is still great. What we are able to do and what we have found has been very effective is collaborating. We know that we can go fast alone, but we go further together. And so we started collaborating with other groups. We have collaborated with the Bahamas Feeding Network on different occasions, with the Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise, and a number of other corporate sponsors, Fidelity, to be able to, and even Hands for Hunger. They've played a great role in a lot of things that we've been able to do to help we may not be able to save everyone, but we'll be able to bring help to the helpless, hope to the hopeless, and care and concern for those that are homeless.
And what are your future plans?
Well, going forward, we anticipate not only having a major food bank and pantry, but we would love to see a thriving outreach center, community center. And we'd like to see somewhere where children and young persons can get not only that training, but they could also have that support that is needed. What I found, particularly in the past 2 years, doing the summer program, initially a number of the kids, in honesty, said, I really showed up initially just for the food. Oh. But coming here has changed my life. Parents would have testified that they had sons that were involved in gang violence and really heading down the wrong path. But just being around a group of persons, a group of educators, a group of people, because we also would have healthcare professionals join us for the volume of students we have, and just feeling that love and that personal touch. Many of them have changed. We've had vocational services and persons come on board and join us and just do demonstrations and saying, it's not how smart you are, It's really how hard you're prepared to work, and you don't have to go down that way. Here is another way, and a lot of them, the mindset has shifted. The mindset, many of them have changed, and they're looking and anticipating being entrepreneurs and going into different areas, picking up a trade. And there has been a mindset shift. So the goal is to continue to move forward with offering food and food assistance to those in distress, but also offering opportunities for persons to be the best version of themselves.
Right. Well, you mentioned Flow earlier. Again, that's Future Leaders
of Worth.
Yes. And this is going to be the 3rd annual summer program you have?
Yes, it will be.
All right, so give us more details about that, what that's all about.
Okay, so Flow is an outlet where our students get to come. We span for 4 weeks, and they get 2 free meals, and they're able to have academic support. We normally stick with the math and literacy. We know that those are some weak areas for a lot of persons. And then we also do enrichment activities and sports activities as well. As an educator by profession and a creative, we don't just stick to the routine classroom activities. We like to think out of the box and do a whole lot of things. So we bring things down home for the kids, and we do devotions. We also do a lot of character building, and this year particularly, we are going to focus on conflict resolution and more strategies on how they can walk in their leadership skills, and letting them know that the leader begins with me, the leader begins with you. It's important because some of the problems that we face in the country at this time is not something that just started. And so we feel as if we catch them now, we don't have to worry about crime not only escalating, but being extremely out of control in years to come.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely. How many people can you accommodate for the program?
We normally don't announce it, but for the past 2 years, we have taken in 100 to 120 kids, and we've also been able to be a great support to children that are fatherless, that are motherless, that are orphans. We identify them. We've been able to offer private support, counseling, and steer them in a direction to get some extra assistance.
Yeah. And this is for how many weeks?
4 weeks.
Beginning when? What's the time?
June. It's going to begin this year, June 24th. And we end on July 19th.
So as soon as school closes, you get into this
jumping right
program. right. So 4 weeks, 100 to 120 students. This is a lot. And so you need a lot of money for this.
Oh, yes.
Because you said 2 meals?
Yeah, we do 2 meals.
My goodness. So this is what this weekend is about.
This weekend is about that because this year we are going, the first year we focused on farming and academic gaps. Second year, we focused more on vocational skills. And this year, we are going full steam ahead with a STEM education approach in Flow. So, STEM is the big thing. Digital literacy is also very big. In addition to bringing them on board and bringing them in, we don't just want them to be able to come and have a good time. We want them to be able to stay up to date and remain relevant and, be technologically advanced with everything that is also going on with the world. So we're bringing them a STEM approach, which is going to be very costly, and digital literacy this year.
So that's why you're having the charity fitness fundraiser.
Indeed.
This weekend. All right. So, Crystal, I guess you can tell us more about that. What can we expect? That's this Saturday, right?
This Saturday at Fusion Superplex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good morning again. So for Saturday to come, one of the main events is we're going to have a fitness workout for all age groups, any level. So we'll have modifications also, and for advanced persons. We're going to start with a nice warm-up and a cool down at the end. We're also going to have fitness products on sale. We're going to be assisting, I think, the doctor's hospital, just assisting with blood pressure and stuff. So it's going to be a full health event that everyone can attend, and it's just a small donation to help the youths in need, like she was.
Everybody. The ladies, this is really for the ladies, but gents, you can
donate. You can send the ladies.
And another thing, we're actually gonna have Doctors Hospital on site. They have introduced a new LAMP program that is amazing. It's a loyalty advantage membership program. And they're gonna be on site to sign up there. We're gonna have prizes and surprises. So those ladies that wanna actually get the opportunity to experience Miss Peach Fit we are going to gift them with one full month membership there. We're going to have prizes and surprises for the persons that bring the most ladies out. And it's just going to be a really wonderful time. We have a lot of persons actually came together to make this possible. And we're just looking to have action, advancement, and acceleration. We are so grateful to have this gift. And I call her a gift because she is, Miss Mackey.
And I actually should have mentioned, so I am head of All Women's Fitness Studio at this moment. So we have a fitness studio on Carmichael Road. So again, a lot of women have now realized the importance more on health and fitness. And so when the Feed 5000 network has reached out, it seemed like a great initiative because one of the things we try to, not just body, but it's about building a community and helping as much persons as we could. And it sounds like that's the same motive that they have. So obviously it sounded that's like something we would love to be a part of.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, so what time on Saturday? And give us the location again.
7 a.m. at Fusion Superplex. So you can come at 7. You have to be there before 7 because we're going to begin. And we're going to be going 7. Well, the workout session will probably be like from 7 to 8-ish. But after that, then we'll have the health checks. And then we'll have some really nice stuff on sale. She's the bomb. You got to come. You've got to come. She's going to be rolling out a new line. And we're going to have some really nice fitness products on sale. And it's just going to be awesome.
I'm enjoying this promotion, guys.
So you need to register.
Oh, they definitely need to register.
How do you register?
You could scan the QR code if they go to our Facebook page, Feeding 5000 Network, and just browse through. They'll also see the Google link there. And the registration form is really for us to be able to gift our registrants and those that show up with, we want to make sure we have good gifts in the place for the mothers, the women, and persons that are going to come out and support. Right. So, yeah.
And a lot of persons has been asking, but I wasn't certain if they are able to
make payments at the door as well.
And how much is it?
It's $25.
Okay, all right. And how many people can you get in a workout?
Well, I don't know how many persons Fusions can accommodate, but we have had about 100 persons at our studio on numerous occasions.
Working out at one time?
Yes, at one time, and it's a great time.
100?
So, yes.
That sounds chaotic, but you can do it.
Not chaotic at all.
Okay.
It's really nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Fusion said they are able to hold 3,000.
Well, that'll be something to see. Hey?
I know, right?
Yeah. So one more time, let people know what to do if they want to register for this on Saturday.
So we have a QR code that is on the flyer that we've been sharing. It's been boosted on Facebook. It's on Instagram and TikTok, or you could go to the Feeding 5000 Network's Facebook page where you can find the actual link and you can join there. There's also the option to do online banking transfers directly to our nonprofit account. And if you're not able to attend, but you just want to go ahead and make a donation, we'll also appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So and let people know how to register if they want to have their children in the Flow program this year.
So they can go ahead and like our Facebook page, and immediately after the workout, we are going to drop the link for Flow Future Leaders of Worth summer program.
Sounds great. This is very exciting. You got to keep us posted on this wonderful initiative. Akeisha Knowles-Smith and Crystal Mackey, thank you. Thank you very much. Good luck on Saturday. And keep up the great work that you're both doing.
Thank you so very much.
Really appreciate it. All right, we're going to break for news and then be back with business, Morning Blend Business, right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Sun comes up with a burning glow, shines down on paradise below. I'm talking about The Bahamas, you know, are beautiful archipelago. Now go, 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 brag about the beauty. Tell them we friendly. Oh, tell them we proud of the country. Tell them they could come see. Then say I'm proud to be a Bahamian. Proud to be a Bahamian. Proud to be a Bahamian, yes. God gave this land to me.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, May 9th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And Laverne, Grand Bahama, the back and forth continues. Now, we've been asking for it for a few days now. Finally got the responses from the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Freeport licensees as well. And so I want to go through those statements in response to the Prime Minister's address to the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce on Monday night, and the response from the government through PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell. Right?
Okay.
All right. So that's released. Is this correct? Released within minutes of each other yesterday?
I don't know if they were released within minutes of each other. I just know that both of them were released yesterday.
Interesting. Okay. So this is the GBPA statement in response to the address of Prime Minister Philip Davis at the Grand Bahama Chamber's business meeting on Monday, May 6th. So the statement says, the Grand Bahama Port Authority has taken note of calls from our licensees, the residents of Grand Bahama, and several current investors for a response to Monday's address by Prime Minister Davis. We take this opportunity to once again reassure these valued stakeholders that GBPA remains laser-focused on the task at hand. We're working every day to deliver the $2 billion plus of investments, which the Grand Bahama Port Authority group of companies, through its affiliates, either initiated, is invested in, or is contractually involved in creating, and was instrumental in bringing the investors to the table. At the same time, it is important that GBPA corrects any inaccurate, incomplete, or selective representations regarding matters that impact our stakeholders. In the near future, therefore, GBPA intends to host a live event to ensure that all the matters discussed in the public domain are placed in their proper context and the historical record is set straight. In the meantime, we encourage our stakeholders to remain confident in the resilience and potential of Freeport and in our pledge to continue working diligently to see a prosperous future for Grand Bahama. Oh, okay, that's the statement there. So they chose not to respond at that time, but in the near future, there will be a live event. Right?
I think, yeah, that's what that's saying. But I think that the time that they took to put that together, 48 hours. So it came out yesterday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, today's Thursday. So in the 48 hours they took to put that together, they could have just had the live event.
Right. Because that type of
And
statement could have
speak
been
to,
done in 48
right, and
minutes.
speak to all of, right, and speak to all of these things,
Mm.
right? As opposed to sending out a press release that says we're going to have an event
In the
to
near
address
future.
these things in the near future.
Whatever
Or
that is.
even in this, you didn't even announce a date, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
so you haven't you haven't come up with a date yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but
well, okay. So
again, it's another missed opportunity.
Then the FLA, Freeport Licensees Association, issued a statement. Dear members of the media, we, the Freeport Licensees Association, FLA, appreciate the opportunity to address the recent Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce meeting themed Building the Way Forward Together. It was a privilege to hear from our Prime Minister, Brave Davis, on this occasion, as this was the first opportunity to do so since our association requested a meeting to discuss the deteriorating relations between the government and the GBPA since last June 2023. We had anticipated a collaborative dialogue aimed at charting a path forward for the benefit of our island community. Instead, the discourse lacked critical details on any tangible solutions and remedial action. It failed to establish any forum for the genuine engagement and participation of licensees as those most familiar with and affected by the current and future state of Freeport. One pressing issue pertains to the sudden presentation of fees allegedly owed by the Grand Bahama Port Authority after 55 years under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. This matter is concerning, especially considering the significant contributions the GBPA has made to the public treasury of the government of the Bahamas and to Freeport's development, particularly in the aftermath of natural disasters. Moreover, the portrayal of the GBPA's efforts to ensure compliance with licensing and tax regulations as undue criticism is unjustified. Upholding legal and financial obligations is not only essential for good governance, but also for maintaining a level playing field for all stakeholders. The biased representation of demographic data and historical events over 40 years ago further complicates the discourse, diverting attention from the substantive issues of today. Okay. Additionally, drawing parallels between Freeport's early years and apartheid-era South Africa only serves to exacerbate tensions rather than fostering constructive dialogue. Okay. We are encouraged by Prime Minister Davis's acknowledgement of the licensee's existence within the framework of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement and the importance of our inclusion. However, it is evident that a lack of consultation on amendments to the agreement and parallel legislation, along with the GBPA's lack of genuine engagement and required licensee agreement, have all contributed to the current impasse between the GBPA and the government. Both the government and the GBPA indicate that our engagement and approval of changes are necessary, a fundamental position with which we not only agree, but one which is legally required. Yet there continues to be a lack of... We're almost done, folks, almost done. As licensees, we remain committed to fostering a transparent and collaborative environment conducive to Freeport's prosperity. Our association's mission is centered on advocating for responsible discussion and resolution to disputes between the government of the Bahamas and the GBPA for the benefit of our island and, of course, the Bahamas. We seek to do this by educating stakeholders about their rights and responsibilities under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, dispelling information where possible, and continuing to call for genuine engagement between all stakeholders to move Freeport and Grand Bahama as a whole forward. We once again extend an open invitation to Prime Minister Davis to engage in constructive dialogue with the licensee community. Collaboration and mutual understanding are essential for overcoming challenges and realizing Freeport's full potential. Likewise, we call on the Grand Bahama Port Authority to genuinely engage licensees and the general public on what it is doing to remediate this impasse, and where answers exist, refute misconceptions that are rampant at this time. We ask you both to commit to transparency over the issues that are in dispute and work together to resolve. Any assertion that such public and largely unanswered discourse does not, and none of us, licensees, the GBPA, nor the government, can afford that. We wholeheartedly agree with Prime Minister Davis. Let's indeed break the chains that are holding back the development of Grand Bahama, beginning with expediting government approvals on critical projects that have been approved by the GBPA and will benefit us all. This is best done through collaboration, not arbitration. Sincerely, Freeport Licensees Association. All right, so our news team reached out to the government for response. The Director of Communications, Trey Ramming, responded that they don't respond to unsigned statements, apparently. But as we all knew was going to be the case, not too long later, the chairman of the PLP responded. I mean, the world
Does he respond to that?
Of course, the world would have ended had he not. And so his statement last night, the response of the Grand Bahama Port Authority and its surrogates, he says, quote, this evening, two unfortunate, ill-conceived, misdirected statements were issued out of Grand Bahama, responding in a combative manner to the Prime Minister's address to the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce. Combative manner. The statements were so as being authored and directed from the same mind and pen. Well, no one is fooled for a minute that the Freeport Licensees Association are, as they present themselves, independent of the operating minds of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. This already has started off more combative than both of those, if you ask me. But who am I? Anyway, we reject each and every material allegation, statement, charge, supposition, theory, assertion, or claim of both the Grand Bahama Port Authority and their surrogates. Their press releases were lame. I just love when professional people use lame in an official statement. It's just so special. Their press releases were lame and will prove to be sickening, weak-kneed, and impertinent. Their statements or this one? Anyway, the so-called Licensees Association ought to be ashamed of themselves. They have let the side down. As for the Grand Bahama Port Authority, this is a time for silence, consulting your lawyers, and stepping up to the plate and finding the money to make good, to promote and build a better Freeport. Well, okay. Well, there you go. Very interesting. Let's get your reaction to that, folks. The statements. I can say that the Port Authority said nothing. Nothing at all. That was a waste of time.
So really, what is there to discuss?
Yeah, that's a waste of time. The a little spicier with the FLA. Sure. Don't know if I agree with everything they've said, but interesting nonetheless.
There were some good points in there in terms of, like I had indicated on Monday to you, Dwight. Licensees, of which I'm one, right? So let me just make that clear.
Tuesday, by the way. Tuesday.
Sorry, Tuesday, because the dinner was Monday. Came there with a certain level of expectation.
Right.
And that was to be able to, like the release said, discuss with the Prime Minister the way forward for Grand Bahama. How can we contribute to this way forward? These are some of the issues that we are facing, to have that kind of dialogue. Instead, you got what we got. So for me, as I've been saying, I'm not saying the Prime Minister is wrong for what he did not want to collect money that is owed. I'm just saying the event was not for that. And what he said, he could have just as easily, we could have all received a notification, Prime Minister address at 7:00 p.m., and we could all tune in.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's hear from you folks. What do you make of it? Although none of these statements will move this situation, this impasse, if it is, forward in any way. In fact, it might take a step back a little bit because
it's already they're already it's already in arbitration in terms of the money that is owed, right? So this is something that is ongoing.
Yeah.
But we left no clearer, we left no more hopeful for the direction of Grand Bahama for whatever, is going on that we would want to discuss and talk about. We're still at that same point.
Yeah.
And the meeting was supposed to at least help bring a little bit of clarity. And let's talk about these issues.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about what's happening.
Yeah. And I think with the with the chairman's statement, even though that he comes in peace, that clearly they're pretty close to stepping up into the ring if it has to come to that, right?
Right. And the Prime Minister said Monday that, he's not looking to, one of the questions was, about the government taking control of Freeport, Lucaya. The Prime Minister said at that point that he's not looking to do that. He is looking to collect, he is focused on collecting the outstanding money.
Right.
That's his focus. He's not looking to take control of that. I don't know if the chairman agrees.
Well, the chairman might say the Prime Minister is speaking for himself. Might.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay, let's get your calls. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4249. Tweet us. Facebook is text us 422-4796. Tweet us. Call us toll free from Grand Bahama, 242-300-5720. Still no closer to an overall master plan for the way forward for Freeport and all of Grand Bahama. And as we focus on this money issue, but not on the plan, and we're losing time, even though everyone says there's all these investors and investments and potential investors, but is there a master plan for all of this to come together and get this city thriving again?
It's about all of these investors, because let's not forget, at the beginning of this saga, one of the things that the Prime Minister said is that investors weren't particularly interested in investing in Grand Bahama. But the situation, to my mind, has only deteriorated, but now we have a lot of investors, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess as the situation between the two parties deteriorates, it becomes more interesting to investors. I don't know, I'm just saying,
Yeah. All right, let's get to some of these text messages. This person says here, this is exactly what I suggested in a text earlier in the week, that the GBPA needed to meet with the licensees to answer questions since Brave Davis either doesn't know or refuses to answer, as usual. I don't agree that the GBPA could have immediately sent out a date for the meeting. They have to meet internally first, arrange schedules for that internal meeting, then agree on a course of action. If that takes 2 months to organize, if the meeting, I'll change my opinion. If they take 2 months, I guess they're saying that would be too long. They also note that Latreille ramming responds to all kinds of things, including random calls to talk shows. Surprised by that. But, again, the chairman responded, so there you go. I'm in agreement with the Prime Minister. Pay us our money, stop abusing the system, and treating the Bahamian people like conch. Okay, all right, yeah. FLA is a farce. This is the text. It represents 3 licensees, not the 3,500. They make demands of the government, but not from the GBPA to see info. No, I think they did say they wanted more clarity from the GBPA too. I think they suggested that. But is it only 3 people, Laverne? Who all are you a part of the FLA? Since you say you're a licensee. Are you on mute again? What's happening? Laverne?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. I asked you a serious question. Would you try to be like the prime minister here? Are you not prepared to answer this question?
I'm not prepared to answer the question at this time.
Wow.
Dwight, once the convention is over, I'll be in a better position.
What is as it says in the National Guardian today, the correlation between the convention and your answer to this question is not clear. What is what? Anyway, boy, I tell you, this is why Grand
don't
Bahama.
pressure me. You
this
didn't
is why
pressure
Grand
people
Bahama
in the house yesterday.
I certainly did.
So you don't
but this
pressure
is
me.
why Grand Bahama. Anyway, wow. This texture says, here's a question I would like my MPs to ask. It's about having an adequate land registry. Doing my research on the land in Freeport, Grand Bahama, I see a land registry is actually possible for the entire Bahamas. Look at this link and see how they got the whole city of Freeport mapped out by subdivision and parcel. Well, that was a planned city from the start.
Right.
New Providence and some other islands. But we keep hearing that. There's calls. The government, many others have called and say they pledge to bring land reform about. So we hope we can get this together. This texture says here, the New Day government itself says that you cannot do business with it or access concessions unless you're paid up. I think you were talking about this earlier. The text is a little off, but you might have said this not on air on Tuesday, but off air with me. But you made the point, and others have as well. Darren Cooper did on the Talking Heads with Naughty, that they found it ironic that the government, the prime minister mentioned that when they've tried to do things with the port, they talked about how licensees weren't paid up, and so they can't move forward. And they found that frustrating. But people are saying, if you don't pay your business licenses, nothing's going to happen for you.
If you're not up to date with NIB, if you're not up to date with inland revenue,
any of
you're
those
not
things.
able to conduct business.
So that's just how it is.
In terms of, especially if there's a contract, maybe a government contract or whatever available, you're not eligible. So that's not an odd thing.
Okay.
But what you do with that though is you center it around the fact that this was the repairs for Dorian, right? So what you've done now is made an emotional tie for people. Because when you attach that, even though that's a common procedure, but when you attach that to Dorian, that's going to evoke a certain set of emotions within people. And so, well played, Prime Minister. Well played.
Well, this texture says, if the GBPA pays nothing, nothing will change in Grand Bahama, and those people will never see a dime. Aren't we tired of these politicers stealing all of our tax-paying money to support? Lord. But instead of taking care of Bahamians. Well, I don't know if we can say that.
Right.
But,
and here's the thing. This is money owed, right? I don't think at any point the government ever indicated that a portion of it, a quarter of it, a fifth of it, a tenth of it was coming to Grand Bahama. They're saying that this is what the Grand Bahama Port Authority owes, and this is what they need to.
Right. No indication that this will be the answer to all the problems.
Right. And so yet again, I go back to my point. We came there to talk about Grand Bahama and the way forward and what we can do. And how can we kind of rectify some of these very limiting, almost prohibitive processes that you encounter sometimes doing business, not just with the government, also with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. So we were looking for dialogue, and that's it.
Wow. Okay. Continue to call in, folks. 323-6232. 325-4316. 4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. You can call us toll free as well. 242-300-5720. Let's take this call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Strachan. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, first time caller. Laverne, I appreciate your aphorism, I mean, really and truly, I don't know, but you just seems to always be correct, I don't know, you're so sincere, right? Mr. Strachan,
I thank you for saying that. I'm sure some
man,
other
I
listeners
appreciate you.
disagree,
Mr.
but I
Strachan.
thank you.
Hey, Dwight.
Hi.
I don't want you to give up on local government, all right? Because I don't want you to be, I want you to be an optimist of strength, all right? Now, of course, as a Bahamian, I can't disagree with the PM is saying. I don't understand it. Now, if you don't like PM and you're getting too personal, it doesn't mean he doesn't say anything that's correct. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when you sit and listen to the speech, of course, what he's saying is true. And so, and the thing is, he made the stand for the Bahamian people, but then a twist is, like Laverne said, somebody mentioned yesterday, he's allowing this to happen in Nassau. Now, as it relates to people not getting business license renewed because of lack of payment to national insurance, that may be true, but I was behind like about 2 years, a little more, and so they still is licensing me because I'm online and all that. But what I'm saying is, I could appreciate that, but I can easily pay down my national insurance. But what about the data on it, as we saw a famous media house and then maybe other situations we don't know, that because of people influence in the oligarchical structure that they're allowed to do just that, renew business license without paying. We saw it with a famous media house and a celebrity who's connected to the present government. But what I wanted to deviate from was the fact that the PM saying he's looking out for the Bahamian people, all well and good, but what I'm saying is I'm vexed with the national security entity, because to me, as a 60-year-old man in a couple of months, national security is just nominal for me. It doesn't exist for me because we want the security of the Bahamian people, because we see we have a migrant crisis with various demographics now. And so there has to be a problem at immigration, and also with, let's say, our neighbors to the south. You saw the video with the situation in Blackwood, in Eleuthera, right? So we see that these people don't respect us. They don't respect our law enforcement, right? But you have national security in existence. You're saying you're fighting for the Bahamian people, but we see the impositions in the healthcare, the schools. I saw a Haitian guy by the Clinic Cannon so bad. Security had to deal with him yesterday, and so I'm just wondering, what is national security? It doesn't exist for me. It's nominal. It shouldn't even exist. This have nothing to do with Mr. Monroe. But the fact remains, if everybody steps up to me and put a block on my back, the burden is heavy on me. So I should try to correct a problem before I can stand up.
Okay.
And so that is where the Bahamian people is at. We are playing with our country. All right? Now, I said years ago, the government is starting a flame that they can't tame. I won't call any name. We see where there was an accusation of rape with a political entity and the commissioner of police, and nobody's come forward to clarify nothing, and it's being claimed by a fellow officer. So, Dwight, what kind of country are we running?
Yeah.
You talk ordinances. I see at Fish Fry, we're talking about buildings 2 feet from one another. Dwight, we in the banana republic, whether they like it or not. Give thanks. I don't worry what people think, Bless them.
All right. Thanks a lot. Let's take some calls really quickly. And we're going to get, I promise we're going to look at something interesting that Wayne Monroe had to say, the National Security Minister, about the death penalty. We'll get to that in our final couple minutes. But I want to stick to this Grand Bahama issue before we go to the break. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Doing well.
Okay, Laverne, how are you this morning? Hello?
I am good. How are you?
Okay. I'm fine, thanks.
Good morning. Hi.
Could I ask you a question, please? Because I also have an aunt that have a business in the city of Freeport, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, as a licensed a business owner in Freeport, Laverne, just using you as an example, could you do business in the city of Freeport without, by owning the port, they allow you to do business in Freeport?
What do you mean? Like if I still
you
owe my
just like how you
license
said the
fee?
government
You like if I
license fees
owe
and all
license
that,
fees?
business license, and then the port, you got to get some permission from the port. I don't know if it's permits or whatever you need to get from the port, right? So if
Like
you're
if
not,
if
they
I
don't
didn't
give you
renew my license
those
fee.
documentation, could you do business in the city of Freeport?
Not legally.
Well, okay. Let me say this to you and Lauren. I just was in Grand Bahama. I stayed in Freeport for several months. Freeport looks deplorable to the Freeport I once knew. I understand the hurricane and all that. I accept that. But what is the port doing in the city of Freeport to clean up all those derelict places? Just putting ordinance on the owners and not taking those buildings and demolishing them. There are too many complexes that lying dormant for the last 20 years. Have you seen those in the city of Freeport?
Yes, of course, and 100% agree. 100% agree with you. And we've asked those kinds of questions before about the derelict buildings and whatever the process is. It always seems to be that there's a lot of red tape, and it's not just a matter of them putting ordinance or getting it done.
But it isn't a lot of red tape to put ordinance on those owners. I don't see
I'm just telling you what you're being told,
so much red tape to demolish those buildings.
Of demolishing it. It isn't just a cut and dry.
It really.
Okay, one at a time.
It's not just cut and dry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's not as easy as that. That's what we're being told as when we ask these same questions that you're asking.
Yes, ma'am. Because
right?
I also saw some properties.
I'm only telling you what we've been told.
Yes, ma'am. I saw some properties in some good residential areas that are grown up. Even if the port took those places from those people, they should at least keep them to a point that make the area still look excellent. Right? Prime example, South Bohemia. You wouldn't even know South Bohemia now today as it was 4 years ago. I'm serious. South Bohemia doesn't look like South Bohemia anymore. You know, the port needs to do more and stop taking out and put something back into the city of Freeport so people, the residents, could feel comfortable and feel like they're at home. I know Bohemia is not in the port jurisdiction, but I just use that as a prime example.
But no, that's not a good example then.
We are.
Oh, you are? But every time I ask, they tell me the port is not responsible for Bohemia.
Okay, but we have this...
Because it's a private development.
Okay.
It's a public-private
That's
what it is.
Agreement.
It's a private development, and we actually have our own service company. That's why who's responsible for lights, the roads, and all of that in South Bohemia.
I'm quite sure Jack Haven and Everton's job is turning over in the grave right now. I'm crying to see how the kids are left Freeport. The city of Freeport it looks very deplorable right now, and they could do much better than they're doing. You guys have a nice day.
All right. Well, I mean, we have these issues in New Providence as well, right? And we just managed to get a downtown Nassau after many, many decades. We've got abandoned buildings all over New Providence. And who's responsible for that, right? Is it the owners? Should the government come in?
And so we've asked these questions. These derelict buildings, they only make the area look more depressed. But apparently there's a whole, and I don't want to misquote because I don't remember everything exactly, but there is an entire process that you have to go through that you can't just go and say, okay, much like with those kinds of same buildings in New Providence that you just can't go and push them down, right? So you run into those same kinds of responses. And no, Grand Bahama does not look the same. And Grand Bahama, Freeport, Lucaya didn't just start on this decline because of Dorian, because of the pandemic.
No, definitely not.
We've been on a steady decline.
Yep.
Those things just exacerbated it.
20-something years.
We've been on a steady decline.
Yeah.
And there's no way that licensees, well, let me speak for this licensee, right? That we think that the Grand Bahama Port Authority is doing all that they could, that we're so pleased with what they're doing, and it's just the government. No way, absolutely not.
Yeah. Now, with the caller saying that those buildings should be torn down, I think this was last time we were there just for the by-election. I mean, those buildings are abandoned and it looks bad.
But some of them, they really just need to be pushed down.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's take this call quickly, and then we got to take that break. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, Laverne and Dwight. Just a couple of things. Laverne, about the buildings, you're right, Dwight. There's been no major building. Good morning. There's been no major buildings or apartment buildings or complex buildings in Grand Bahama since the early 70s. So many of these buildings are end of life, and trying to reclaim them is, with the technology and everything now, it's just easy to build them. The question concerning the Grand Bahama Port and knocking them down, if you read the ordinance carefully, the primary problem with the Port Authority knocking them down is they have to bear the expenses of knocking them down when they won't be able to place a lien on those properties after they knock them down. This is why we talk about updating the bylaws. But the problem is that when we talk about this money owed and other things, these are just the symptoms of the greater problem. And the greater problem is the fact that the Grand Bahama Port Authority has become a dismal failure, and so has government. And so, I think even the Licensee Association is out of context in understanding what the advocacy is for. It's the economic development picture. We say it's the economy stupid. The problem is that the Grand Bahama, the demand coming from the if you look at it as it's intended, is for failure of the economy to grow. The economy in Grand Bahama, I've retroactively tracked it so far. I'm at 1992 as to when the decline started, slowly, but accelerated beginning in 2004. The problem is that we have not had a vision for Grand Bahama. We've had ideas and books of things and statements made. No one has brought an executable vision for which you can engage the people for the strategy or the plan and see it. We've had announcements of so many different things coming soon down the pipeline, etc. So until we actually have the conversation in context, which is nothing to do with the money owed, that's a private argument, but the result of that argument gives us a better understanding of the deficiency for where we are. And we need to actually, after that argument, we should be asking for which was required of the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement, is audited statements now retroactively, so we can actually have the data of the growth or shrinkage, and then actually demand from the Grand Bahama Port Authority today, what is the strategy for growing the economy and one of inclusivity?
Let me ask you this really quickly, Sian. We've got less than a minute. So do you think the lack of a plan is because we don't have one for the whole country, no part of the country? Do you does that need to happen first before we can go to the individual islands, or what needs to happen first?
Freeport is a unique thing. If Freeport comes up with a plan, in fact, if the Port Authority had the competence and leadership, this would already happen and made to the public, which would then call for action from the government, because the government would have to create the legislation, laws, policies, procedures to enable what happens in Freeport. So the lack, for me, in my mind, comes from the Grand Bahama Port Authority, because they're responsible for Freeport. However, their development can have a cascade effect on what happens in the rest of the Bahamas, including governance. And this is another conversation we have to have concerning this concept of governing yourself. And this is a unique opportunity for us to fix what should have been fixed 30-something years
ago. So you think the plan should come from the GBPA, or should it come from someone?
No, it should come from Freeport. The GBPA is responsible for developing Freeport. They have to have a vision for Freeport. The government has to have a vision for Grand Bahama. But when you look at how Freeport is strategically placed, their vision should be independent. They can't be dependent on government if they were given exclusivity even before the concept came around. Where is their vision so that we as licensees and residents can demand of government as voters to give us the tools for us to execute this vision or to partake in it? And so the Grand Bahama Port Authority has tremendous amount of power, but that power comes from, but it's separated from the governance. This GBPA is a separate governance organization from the Grand Bahama Development Company, which owns all of the land. And so, but we somehow seem to blend all of these 17 different companies from the Grand Bahama Port Authority into one entity, and then we keep referring it as the GBPA, which is totally out of context.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Well, don't hold your breath for the plans, it seems. We got to go to a break. We'll be back in just a bit. This is Morning Event Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
But she still come to this conclusion after using think and say, if you can't find your friends in that song, they're in Freeport or they're in jail. So if you're looking, searching and worrying, you'll find it's true without any fail. If you can't find your friends in that song, they're in Freeport or they're in jail. Oh!
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth of Bahamians.
The signs are clear. It's time to pay less for your current mortgage by switching to Scotiabank. Enjoy lower interest rates and no payments up to 2 months when you switch to Scotiabank today. Plus, we'll even pay your switch costs. It's that easy. Ready to switch to Scotiabank? Call us today at 242-356-1697 or visit bs.scotiabank.com to switch your mortgage to become mortgage-free faster.
Attention all New Providence customers. Are you ready to spring into savings and make this Mother's Day unforgettable? From April 26th to May 9th, pay your water and sewage bill in full and get a chance to win big. That's right, simply pay your bill and you'll be automatically entered to win a stunning 55-inch smart TV. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to treat yourself or that special mom in your life. Visit any of our water and sewage offices to learn more. Spring into savings and make this Mother's Day one to remember. Water and sewage committed to growth, committed to quality. Hurry, offer ends soon. Terms and conditions apply.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. Job too small, you name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is the National Youth Guard program designed to train young people to help the Bahama Islands in times of disaster.
I decided to join to better serve my country as well as to better myself.
We train to help in search and rescue,
electrical, plumbing, and carpentry.
And things that they can actually expand on in their careers.
Young people who join the Youth Guard program discover a sense of purpose and a sense of patriotism.
To learn more and apply, visit nyg.bahamas.gov.bs.
You've heard of electric cars. Now it's time you drive one. Easy Car Sales welcomes you to experience the power and prestige of the latest electric vehicles. Plug in at home for a 65% discount off your gas bill and never get stuck at the pump again. Build your dreams of a better future with a better car, the BYD EV. Visit Easy2 Test Drive today. Save your money while driving in style. Only at Easy Car Sales.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Bahamas is trending on Airbnb in 2024 for those planning summer travel. The company saying that this summer families are looking to Airbnb to hike, swim, and soak up incredible views, and that some of the top categories booked for families this summer have a waterfront theme, including beach, amazing pools, and lake categories. According to the statement, the Bahamas is in lockstep with destinations like Turkey, Croatia, South Korea, the Philippines, Australia, Puerto Rico, Miramar, Florida, Marquette, and in terms of popularity, notwithstanding Airbnbs in cities in France that are preparing for the Summer Olympics, the company says that families are in search of spaces for barbecues and beach getaways. Carnival Cruise Line, in an update of its $600 million private cruise port in Grand Bahama, said that more than 85% of the workforce bringing the project to life is from Grand Bahama. Carnival's statement adding that the work crew comprises some 180 Bahamians from other islands throughout the archipelago. bringing the Bahamian workforce complement to 96%. The company further adding that 29 of the 31 companies working on the project are Bahamian-owned. According to Carnival, each company has been assigned projects based on their strengths. Overseas, the Bank of England maintaining its key UK interest rate at a 16-year high of 5.25%, though it gave a broad hint that a reduction could be on the cards as soon as June, as inflation is forecast to fall below target. In a statement today, the bank's 9-member Monetary Policy Committee voted 7-2 to keep rates unchanged, with the two dissenters backing a quarter-point reduction. Last time, only one member voted for a quarter-point cut. Like the U.S. Federal Reserve last week, which also kept rates on hold, the majority of the panel wanted to see more evidence that inflation is under control. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers, Cable Bahamas moving 3,000 shares, down 1 cent to 420. J.S. Johnson moving 31,650, unchanged at 1587. Consolidated Bank up 23 cents, closing at 564. Emir Incorporated up 12 cents, closing at 862. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,938.70, up 0.33. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL Generations.
Mr. Johnson trying to find Freddie and Margaret looking for...
All right, Laverne, we're out of time. I'm just going to point this out to folks. Maybe tomorrow we'll have more time to get into this, but there's an interesting article in today's NASA Guardian today, page 3 in the main section. Wayne Monroe saying that the death penalty issue is out of the hands of politicians. Wayne Monroe says that the issue of the death penalty is out of the hands of politicians. He says, quote, as it relates to capital punishment, that it's completely out of the hands of any politician because the side opposite gave the power to decide the charge to the Office of the Department of Public Prosecutions, and the trials are before an independent judiciary whose independence is guaranteed by our Constitution. One of us, I know he's a very brilliant lawyer, but one of us is not getting it. If by law, the lawmakers decided that power in the hands of the Department of Public Prosecutions, if they wanted to change that, they could change the law. I mean, that's not how it works. I don't understand. So that part is
the law can't be changed.
And then there's some other stuff here about the Privy Council and all that stuff. We'll delve into this a little more, hopefully tomorrow. But pick it up and read it, so tomorrow we'll all be on the same page. And we can discuss it more. But the excuses that people make sometimes for stuff that's fully in their power is astounding. But anyway, we'll get, hopefully, further clarity tomorrow. Laverne, thank you so much for being here this morning. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
I'll talk with you again soon. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.